The evening sky was slowly turning purple as people hurried across the crowded street. Cars honked, vendors shouted prices, and a cold breeze brushed past the lanes. Among the crowd walked Daniel Reed, a 32-year-old single father. His daughter, Lily, held his hand tightly as they moved through the marketplace, carrying a small bag of groceries. "Daddy, look, cotton candy," Lily said, pointing with her tiny finger. Daniel smiled, brushing her soft brown hair behind her ear. "Maybe tomorrow, sweetheart, we're saving, remember?" "For the blue shoes?" she asked. "For the blue shoes," he confirmed. Lily nodded, happy enough. She loved being with her dad more than anything. For the last 5 years it had been just the two of them ever since her mother passed away. Daniel worked 2 jobs, construction in the day, restaurant dishwasher at night. Money was tight, but love wasn't. Lily always said she didn't need much, just her daddy. They turned into a quieter street where the crowd thinned. That's when Lily tugged sharply on his sleeve. "Daddy, please help her." Her voice trembled. Daniel followed her gaze. At first, he thought he was seeing wrong. 2 grown men were dragging a woman toward a black van. She struggled, kicking, but her voice was muffled by a cloth tied around her mouth. The men looked rough, one bald with a scar on his cheek, the other large and muscular. It looked like they were seconds away from shoving her inside. Daniel whispered, "Lily, stay behind me," but Lily didn't stay. She ran straight toward the woman, shouting, "Stop, leave her alone." "Lily, no." Daniel sprinted after her. The men froze for a second, surprised a little girl had shouted at them. Daniel reached Lily, scooped her up, and glared at the kidnappers. "Let her go," he said sharply, "right now. Walk away, hero." The muscular one growled, "This doesn't concern you." Daniel stepped forward. "It does now." The woman's eyes widened, pleading silently. The bald guy smirked. "You wanna die in front of your kid?" Daniel lowered Lily to the ground behind him and whispered, "Run to the streetlights, don't look back." "But Daddy, go." She ran. Daniel turned to the men just in time to dodge a punch. The muscular one lunged, but Daniel swung back, hitting his jaw hard. The man staggered. Daniel didn't wait. He tackled him into the side of the van. The bald one took out a knife. Daniel grabbed the muscular guy's arm and twisted, using him as a shield. The bald man froze, not wanting to accidentally stab his partner. Daniel kicked the muscular man's knee, sending him falling. With a burst of strength, Daniel grabbed the woman, pulled the gag off, and positioned her behind him. "Run," he shouted. The woman hesitated. "What about you? Go." She ran down the street. Daniel blocked the knife strike with his forearm. It cut him, but not deep, and punched the bald guy in the ribs. A second punch landed on his cheek. The man fell. The muscular guy tried to get up. Daniel grabbed the knife that had fallen, kicked the man's stomach, and held the blade toward them. "Stay down," Daniel warned. They didn't need telling twice. Sirens were already distant but approaching. Someone must have called the police. Daniel grabbed Lily and ran before he had to answer questions he had no time for. He had work in 20 minutes and couldn't afford to be late. At home, after bandaging his arm using an old first aid box, he tucked Lily into bed. "Daddy," she whispered, "you saved her." "I just did what anyone would." "No, not everyone." He kissed her forehead. "Sleep, little one." But long after she slept, Daniel stared at the wall, wondering who that woman was, and why she was being abducted. He had no idea that his life was about to change forever. The next morning felt normal. Daniel made oatmeal, tied Lily's ponytail, and walked her to school. He was about to head to his construction job when his neighbor, old Mrs. Hendricks, shouted from across the street, "Danny, someone's looking for you." Daniel turned and froze. A sleek black Mercedes pulled up in front of him. A driver stepped out and opened the back door. A woman came out, not just any woman, the woman he had saved last night, except now she wasn't bruised or terrified. Now she stood tall, dressed in an elegant navy blue suit, confident, calm, radiant. "Mr. Reed," she said, "may we talk?" "How did you find me?" he asked cautiously. Lily tugged at his shirt. "Daddy, that's the lady." The woman smiled warmly at Lily. "Hi, sweetheart." Daniel stood between them protectively. "Who are you?" "My name is Elena Hartwell," she said, "CEO of Hartwell Industries." Daniel's breath caught. Hartwell Industries was one of the biggest companies in the entire city. "I came to thank you," she continued. "You saved my life. You don't owe me anything, actually." She held up her phone. "The men you stopped were hired. It wasn't random. Someone ordered my kidnapping." Daniel frowned. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because the police informed me that you risked your life while holding a child's hand to save me." Her voice softened. "You didn't run. You didn't hesitate. I owe you more than you think." Daniel shifted awkwardly. "Look, I'm late for work. I appreciate your gratitude, but quit your job," she said calmly. He blinked. "What? I want to hire you. I'm a construction worker and part-time dishwasher. I'm not qualified for—" "You're qualified for what I need," she said. "A personal security role for me and for my daughter." "You have a daughter?" Elena nodded slowly. "She's been withdrawn since her father passed. She barely speaks to anyone, but she spoke to you." Daniel looked confused. "I've never met her." "She saw the security footage," Elena said softly. "She said you're the first person she's felt safe watching." Lily tugged Daniel's sleeve. "Daddy, if her little girl needs help, maybe you should help her." Daniel sighed. "I don't know." Elena stepped closer. "The salary is triple what you're earning now, benefits included, work hours flexible, and—" She glanced at Lily. "I'll personally cover your daughter's school fees." Daniel stiffened. Lily's eyes widened. "Daddy." He tried to speak, but his voice grew tight. "Why? Why would you do that for us?" "Because you saved me," she whispered, "and because I believe people like you deserve a chance." He looked at Lily again. She nodded eagerly. Daniel took a deep breath. "Okay, I accept." Elena smiled. Relieved. "Wonderful. Please get in. We'll take you both to the headquarters." The Hartwell Towers were nothing like Daniel had ever seen. Glass panels, fountains, marble floors. Lily clung to his hand the whole time, overwhelmed but fascinated. Elena led them upstairs to her private office. There, a girl around Lily's age sat on the couch, hugging a stuffed fox. She had long black hair covering her face. "Amelia," Elena said gently, "this is Mr. Reed and his daughter Lily." Amelia's eyes flickered over them shyly. Lily waved. "Hi, do you want to be friends?" Amelia didn't answer. She hugged her stuffed fox tighter. "Sorry," Elena explained softly. "She hasn't spoken to anyone except me in months." But Lily simply walked over and sat beside her. "Your fox is cute," she said softly. Amelia didn't reply. Lily gently placed her own small hair clip, the one she wore every day, next to Amelia. "You can have it. My mommy gave it to me before she went to heaven. It's special." Daniel's heart tightened. He hadn't known she would do that. Amelia stared at the clip, then slowly whispered, "Thank you." Elena gasped. She spoke. Lily grinned. "See, friends?" Amelia nodded, and that was it. Two lonely little girls found each other. Daniel and Elena exchanged a look, one filled with relief, hope, and something unspoken. Over the next days, Daniel's life changed completely. He was trained by top-level security staff, given a new uniform, a badge, and a schedule that allowed him to drop off and pick up Lily from school. He earned more than he had ever imagined. For the first time, he didn't have to choose between food and bills, and every day he worked closely with Elena. She was kind, intelligent, and surprisingly down-to-earth for a CEO. She often asked about his day, brought snacks for Lily, and invited the two of them to dinner in her office. Amelia and Lily became inseparable, drawing together, sharing stories, laughing. The building staff started calling them the Sunshine Twins. Life was finally peaceful until one night. Daniel was escorting Elena to her car in the underground parking area when a noise echoed across the concrete, a metal clank, then footsteps. Daniel instinctively stepped in front of her. "Stay behind me." From the shadows a man stepped out, the bald man, One of the kidnappers. Miss me, hero, he sneered. Elena froze. How is he? The man threw a metal pipe at Daniel, who dodged barely in time. The pipe hit the floor and rolled loudly. Daniel lunged forward, tackling the man. They crashed into a pillar. The bald man swung wildly, landing a punch on Daniel's ribs. Pain shot through him, but he grabbed the attacker's arm and twisted until the man screamed. "Who hired you?" Daniel demanded. "You think I'm telling you?" The man spat blood. "Lady Hartwell is about to lose her company. Someone wants her gone." Daniel slammed him into the pillar again. "Who?" The man grinned, bloody and fearless. "Ask her fiancé." Elena stiffened. "My fiancé? You're lying." "Am I?" the man said. Suddenly a gunshot echoed. The bald man collapsed. Daniel spun around, but no one was there. Whoever had fired had perfect aim and was long gone. The shot had struck the man's shoulder, not fatal, but enough to disable him. Security guards rushed in seconds later. Daniel pulled Elena close. "We need to go now." She was shaking. "My fiancé." He wouldn't. He couldn't. But the doubt was already there. The next day, the news exploded. Hartwell Industries CEO targeted in kidnapping attempt. Elena stood in her office, staring at the headlines. Daniel watched her silently. "My fiancé," she whispered. "He called me earlier. He told me not to involve the police. He said I should let it go." "Daniel, why would he say that?" Daniel answered gently. "Because he's hiding something." Her eyes filled with tears. "I thought he loved me." "I'm sorry," Daniel said. She wiped her tears. "I need to call off the engagement." Daniel hesitated. "Are you sure?" She nodded, her voice trembling. "A man who wants to destroy me, never loved me." Days passed. The engagement was officially over. Security around the building tightened, and Elena spent more time with Daniel. Sometimes they talked late into the evening, about regrets, fears, dreams. Daniel found himself smiling more. She found herself laughing again. One night, on the rooftop garden, she finally said it. "You saved me twice," she whispered, "but the truth is, you saved me long before the danger." Daniel frowned gently. "How? You brought Amelia back to me." Daniel swallowed. "And you," she added softly, "you brought something back to me too." "What?" She looked at him, really looked, hope. Before Daniel could say anything, the rooftop door burst open. "Mommy!" Amelia ran to Elena, pulling her down for a hug. Lily followed. "Daddy," Lily said, "Amelia wants to sleep at our house." Daniel blinked. "Tonight?" "Pleasey." Both girls squealed. Elena laughed softly. "I suppose we have no choice." Her eyes met Daniel's, and the world felt suddenly simple. Months later, on a bright spring morning, the four of them stood in the living room of Daniel's small apartment. Boxes were everywhere. Amelia danced around with Lily, singing their favorite song. Daniel rubbed the back of his neck shyly. "You really want to move in here?" Elena smiled. "Yes. Your home feels more like home than my mansion ever did. But it's small, and the kitchen sink leaks sometimes." "We'll fix it together." Daniel laughed softly. "Together?" Elena stepped close. "Daniel, you turned my life upside down in the best possible way, and you changed mine," he whispered. She leaned in gently. He met her halfway. It was soft, warm, real. The girls squealed behind them. "You, bua," then burst into giggles. Elena rested her forehead against Daniel's. "A new life, for all of us." He wrapped his arms around her. "Yeah, a new life." Little did Daniel know. Helping one stranger on a dark street would lead him to love, family, and a future he never dreamed possible. Because sometimes, one brave moment changes everything. And sometimes, a single dad who helps a stranger ends up helping himself find happiness too. The morning sunlight streamed through the curtains of Daniel's small apartment, now filled with twice as many toys, twice as many shoes, and twice as much laughter. Lily and Amelia were already awake, sitting cross-legged on the carpet, building a cardboard castle, with coloring markers scattered everywhere. Elena watched them from the kitchen doorway, smiling softly as she sipped her tea. Daniel was fixing the kitchen sink again. determined to make the place perfect since Elena and Amelia had moved in 2 weeks ago. "You don't have to fix everything yourself," Elena said, leaning against the counter. Daniel tightened the pipe and wiped his hands. "It's our home now. Gotta keep it working." She walked toward him, brushing a hand over his shoulder. "You still have trouble accepting that word, our," he smiled shyly. "It still feels unreal, you being here." She stepped closer. "I'm exactly where I want to be." Before Daniel could respond, the doorbell rang, loud and urgent. He frowned. "Who is that at 7:30 a.m.?" He opened the door. 3 men in black suits stood outside, not security guards. These were corporate men, serious, expressionless. "Are you Mr. Reed?" the one in front asked. "Yes." "Ms. Hartwell needs to come with us immediately." Daniel stiffened. "What are you talking about?" "It concerns Hartwell Industries," the man replied. "A private matter." Elena stepped behind Daniel. "Who sent you?" "Your board of directors," the man said calmly. "It's urgent." The atmosphere shifted instantly. Daniel put his arm in front of her. "She's not going anywhere until I know why." The man took out a thin folder. "Your company's quarterly audit. It shows irregularities, millions unaccounted for. Hartwell Industries may face an immediate shutdown unless Ms. Hartwell attends an emergency meeting." Elena's face went pale. "That's impossible. I check every report personally." The man's gaze didn't soften. "Then you'll want to see this." He handed her the file. Elena flipped through the pages, her eyes widening with every line. "No, this is falsified. These numbers aren't real. Someone altered the books." Daniel's jaw clenched. Her ex-fiancé. The man didn't deny it. "We cannot confirm that. We only know the directors are in a panic. They demand your presence now." Amelia ran to her mother. "Mommy, what's happening?" Elena forced a shaky smile. "Nothing, sweetheart. Mommy just needs to talk to some people." Daniel leaned close. "Do you trust these men?" Elena whispered back. "They're from my board. I recognize him." She nodded toward the lead man. "He's legitimate." Daniel exhaled. "Then I'm coming with you." The man shook his head. "Mr. Reed is not authorized." Daniel stepped forward. "You're not leaving without me. That's final." Elena touched his arm. "I'll be fine. I promise. Stay here with the girls." Daniel wanted to argue, but the fear in the children's eyes held him back. He knelt down. "Hey, listen, Mommy and Daddy." He froze, realizing he said Daddy, referring to himself and Elena together. Lily giggled. Elena blushed. Amelia tilted her head curiously. Daniel continued. "Mommy and I are going to fix this, okay? Everything will be fine." Amelia hugged him suddenly. "Don't let her get hurt, please." He wrapped his arms around her. "Never." Elena kissed the girls, then Daniel. "I'll call you as soon as I can." She stepped outside. The men escorted her to a black sedan. Before Daniel shut the door, he whispered, "I don't trust them." "Neither do I," Elena whispered back. Then the car drove away. 3 hours passed. Daniel paced the living room non-stop. Lily and Amelia colored quietly, sensing the tension. His phone finally rang. He grabbed it. "Elena," a silence, then an unfamiliar man's voice. "Mr. Reed, your girlfriend won't be calling you today." Daniel froze. "Who is this?" "Oh, just someone who appreciates your heroism." The man said casually, "You're very talented. You fought my men. You protected her. You made her board trust you." Daniel's blood ran cold. "What did you do to her?" A soft chuckle. "Let's call her a business asset for now, alive for the moment." Daniel's fists tightened. "What do you want?" "Oh, nothing much. Just for you to come to me, alone, no police, no security." The voice paused. "And bring the girls." Daniel felt like ice flooded his chest. "If you touch them, if you want them safe." The man cut him off. "You'll do exactly what I say." The call ended. Daniel stood frozen, staring at the silent phone. Amelia walked up slowly. "Daddy, was that Mommy?" He swallowed hard. "No, sweetheart." Her lip trembled. Is she hurt?" Daniel knelt beside her, holding both girls close. "I won't let anything happen to her, or to either of you." "But Daddy," Lily whispered, "you're shaking." He forced a smile. "I'm just thinking." He wasn't. He was planning, because someone had taken Elena, and Daniel wasn't a fighter by choice. but he fought when he had to. Someone was about to learn that the hard way. Daniel grabbed his phone again and dialed a hidden number he never wanted to use again. A voice answered after 3 rings. Daniel Reed. The woman said with a sigh, "I always knew trouble would find you again. Carmen, I need your help." "What happened? It's serious." "Is it the kind of serious that pays? It's the kind of serious where a family is in danger." Carmen paused. "Send me the location." Daniel sent her the call's trace. She whistled softly. "This isn't random. Whoever took her is powerful." "I figured. And stupid," she added. "They're messing with the wrong man. Can you help?" Carmen chuckled. "I can do more than help. I can end this." Daniel gathered the girls. "We're going on a trip," he said calmly. "Where?" Amelia asked. "To get your mother back." She nodded bravely, surprising him. He picked her up while Lily held his free hand. "Now listen, no matter what happens, don't leave my side." "We won't," they said together. Carmen arrived in a dusty jeep. Combat boots, leather gloves, and eyes sharp enough to cut steel. She looked Daniel up and down. "You look like a dad now." "I am a dad." "Well," she smirked, "let's hope Daddy still remembers how to fight." She knelt in front of the girls. "I'm Carmen. I'm here to help your mommy." Amelia studied her. "Are you a superhero?" Carmen winked. "Something like that." They drove toward an abandoned industrial zone, old warehouses, trucks rusting away, windows broken. The address the kidnapper provided. Daniel stepped out. "Stay in the car," he told the girls, but Amelia clung to his sleeve. "No." Daniel knelt. "Sweetheart, I promise. I will bring your mommy back." Carmen added, "No one will get close to the car. I'll protect you." The girl looked between them, then nodded. Daniel walked toward the warehouse. The large metal door slid open with a creak. Inside, dim lights hung from chains. Machinery clanked quietly in the shadows. And there she was, Elena, blindfolded, tied to a chair, bruised, shaking. "Elena!" Daniel shouted. A figure stepped out, her ex-fiancé, Grant Lockwood, smiling. "I knew she'd fall for a hero," Grant sneered. "She always loved men who made her feel safe. Thought I'd let that happen." Daniel's fury ignited. "Untie her, now." "Or what?" Grant laughed. "You gonna fight me? Fight all my men? You're one man. I have." A loud thump echoed behind him. One of his guards dropped to the ground, then another. Carmen stepped into the light. "You were saying?" Grant stepped back. "Who the hell?" "I'm the friend your little hero here called," Grant snarled. "Kill her." His men charged. Carmen moved like smoke. Silent, fast, lethal. She punched, flipped, kicked, disarmed. Every man fell before he touched her. Daniel untied Elena. She collapsed into his arms, sobbing. "I knew you'd come. I knew it." He lifted her face. "I will always come for you." Grant pulled a gun from his jacket. Daniel spun, pulling Elena behind him. Grant aimed. "If I can't have her, no one will." Carmen threw a wrench with perfect aim. It hit his wrist. The gun flew. Grant screamed. Daniel grabbed him, slamming him against the wall. "You think you can threaten my family?" Grant hissed. "She was mine. Her company was mine. Everything she owns was supposed to be mine." Daniel punched him. "Not anymore," Elena whispered. "Daniel, stop, please." He froze, breathing hard. She touched his hand. "It's over." Grant collapsed to the floor. Police sirens echoed outside. Daniel held Elena tightly. "You're safe," he whispered. "No," she whispered back. "I'm safe because of you." Hours later, after statements were taken and Grant was arrested, the 4 of them sat on the couch at home. Amelia lay in her mother's arms. Lily leaned against Daniel. Elena looked at Daniel with tired eyes. "You saved me a 3rd time." Daniel smiled softly. "I'll keep saving you, as long as I live." Elena touched his cheek. "Then promise me something. Anything. Don't ever leave us." Daniel took her hand. "I'm not going anywhere." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Good, because we need you. Not as much as I need you." The girls pretended not to hear, but they giggled. Carmen, standing by the door, raised an eyebrow. "You read boys fall deep, huh?" Daniel smirked. "You sticking around?" Carmen shrugged. "Maybe. Someone has to keep you two alive." Daniel laughed, Elena smiled, the girls hugged both of them, and in that tiny apartment, crowded but warm, they realized family isn't built by blood. It's built by love, by choosing each other, and by never letting go.